Yo, what is up, you guys? It is your boy HamzaConnection coming at you live. Welcome to the Journey Podcast. Well, basically, today I want to talk about being patient, which I pretty much suck at, and also talk about being impatient. Well, here's the kicker. When you're starting a new project, when you want to start something, let's say it's a new habit, let's say you want to start doing something, I find, in terms of my experience, that it's best to be impatient. Basically, being impatient. Like, go ahead and start, whatever it is. Because that's going to get you the most results. That's going to get you the most result. If you are patient starting, you will never get it done. Let me give you like an example of this. Let's say you want to start going to the gym, right? If you're patient, you're not going to go to the gym. It's going to take you a long time. You're going to be like, oh, let me figure out how to work out properly. Let me figure out how to do that. And I am not saying that any of these are bad, but you are actually paying a lot of your time that you could have spent in the gym by trying to not work out until you figure out all the information. Because you will realize that there is an endless stream amount of information and an endless way of people telling you you should work out this way. You should do 5x5. You should do low reps. You should do medium reps. You should do high reps. You should do time and attention. You should do these 22 different intensity techniques. You should do cardio. You should do boxing. You should, like, there are so many things. There are so many things that it's hard. It's hard for you to realize, oh, do I want to do this type of yoga or do I want to not do this type of yoga? I remember when I started yoga, I had no clue of what the different yoga was, right? So the first yoga class I ever went to was like a yin yoga class, but I had no idea what yin was. I was like, I'm going to do yoga because I've heard it's good for the flexibility. So I was like, let me go ahead and validate that with my own experience. So I went, took one yoga class, and I was like, this is kind of nice. I see the benefits. And then I went home and I started seeing like, okay, cool. So what is yin yoga? Okay, this is yin yoga. All right. The next time I book another class, I was like, this is hatha yoga. What the fuck is hatha yoga? And then I went in, I did the class, and then I went in, I was like, oh, okay, so this is hatha yoga. So now I pretty much started the habit of going to yoga twice a week, and it's been really good for me. I want to share like that experience in another podcast episode, why it might be really good for you. But basically, the point here I'm trying to make with this podcast episode is this. If I'd have just been like, okay, I need to learn about everything about yoga and stuff like that. I need to learn how to breathe. I need to learn how to stretch. I need to know how all of these things, what are the 8 chakras? What are this? This is just 1/8 of it. All of that stuff. I had no idea of any of that information before I started yoga. But the thing here is, I am like pretty much, I think it's a half year in. I think it's a half year in now. And I've been doing yoga, I would say pretty damn consistent, twice a week. And if I'd have just been impatient, if I'd have just been patient to start, I would have read everything about yoga. I would have done this, I would have done that, and read a lot. Now, I was impatient to start that habit because I knew I needed yoga. I wanted to do yoga. So I was impatient and I started. I went out and I started doing yoga. And now I am so much further because now I'm reading about some information and doing this and doing that. And reading about like, okay, cool. Now I need to figure out how to breathe properly. I can ask my instructor. I can search on YouTube. I can do this. And now I'm starting to also develop preferences for this is how hard I should put myself when I do this movement and that. I'm starting to get to know my body better. And you know what? I would not have been able to do that if I'd have just read about yoga or watched a ton of YouTube videos about yoga. Because actually doing it, that's where you get the most knowledge. So that's why it is really good for you to be impatient to start something. Impatient to start something. Start something and then see it. Because you will generally get the most results by doing that. And I'm talking about things that doesn't have a huge risk. Like, let's say you want to be a real estate investor and then you just invest a bunch of money on a random real estate. No, you probably need to be a little bit more patient and start reading about it, learning about it, all of that stuff. But ultimately, you learn by doing. You learn by doing the damn thing. That's why you want to be impatient and go ahead and start the things. But obviously, manage your risk. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to workout, when it comes to that, I know you can get injured. But seriously, be a man. Don't be a pussy. Go ahead and go ahead and try something. Get some field experience and all of that stuff. Go ahead and actually do it. And then you can read up on it afterward. I did this mistake myself. I was patient. When I wanted to start to work out, I was very patient starting to work out. I started watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and I started researching so much, but I didn't work out. And I spent so much time on researching on I want to have the most optimal workout program before I started. I was young and stupid back then. I'm still stupid now. But basically, I learned from that because I realized, shit, man, I watched over 10,000 YouTube videos, and when I look back of how much I worked out and how consistent I was, it wasn't that good. No, it wasn't any good at all. Like, I wasn't consistent at all. I would miss so much, man. I basically squandered so much time. Did a huge mistake by being fucking patient. What I should have been doing now, when I look back at it in retrospect, I should have been really impatient. I should have been just going out to the gym and then figuring out the movements and then coming back home after I went to the gym and then research some of the movements and like, oh, let me try this movement. Let me try that. And basically experience with that thing and actually start doing those things. Start doing it instead of just reading and listening about it. Because if you're patient and you don't do the thing, you often tend to procrastinate. I at least did that. I procrastinated by reading a bunch about it, by talking a bunch about it, by watching a lot of YouTube videos about it and all that stuff. But no, you want to be impatient and go ahead and start the actual process, because that's when you're going to learn the most. I would have to say I learned a lot from quite a lot from the YouTube videos that I watched and all the books and all of that stuff. But what I've learned the most is actually by going out and trying, by going out and doing the actual thing. I would say, no, I learned most about the YouTube video, but what's been the most effective would have been just go ahead and try it. And then reading about it while you're doing the thing. Instead of having to get the theory down and be perfectly good with the theory, and then you go ahead and what? And do it. Because you would have wasted so much time. Like right now, I feel like I'm half a year ahead in yoga because I know myself. If I would have been starting yoga and I would have just listened to it and read about it, all there is to read about it, because I'm a very curious guy. So I would just spend I think the first 4 months of just reading about it and getting to know everything. And now I haven't done anything. So, to summarize this podcast episode, you want to be impatient when you're starting, but when do you want to be patient? You want to be patient when you're actually in the process. Because right now, I want to get a certain flexibility, or when you're working out, you want to get certain results. And results and stuff like that, it takes time. Obviously, do the effort, maximize the results and all of that stuff. But some of the things, when you're in the process, it just takes time. And that's when you need to be patient. Because you go to the gym one day and you come back, you're not going to have built so incredible amount of muscle. That's why you need to be patient and do the right things over and over again. Grow that little inch by inch by inch. And so all of those little tiny inches adds up. And before you look yourself back, you will look back 1 year and you will be like, whoa, my body changed a lot. Or 2 years and look back, whoa, that changed a lot. That's when you want to be patient. So, hope you found this useful, and hit the like button if you did, and hit the subscribe button if you want to stay tuned for more content. Take care. Peace.